Tech by Tips.
Hello and welcome to another Tech by Tips video. Today's video is going to be a nice application that I found last week while I was browsing the internet looking for things, and I found this to be kind of amazing, honestly, because if you are on your phone all the time, you probably have a bunch of different apps where you communicate with people, and I found this website about an application named Beeper, and it says that it allows you to put all your chats in one place. And if you look at this, it talks about applications like WhatsApp and Instagram and Telegram and Facebook Messenger, even X and LinkedIn and Signal, Discord and Slack. So it's like very useful applications that you're very likely using on your phone or your computer, and having the ability to have all of this running in one place, I think is amazing. So this video is going to be about how you set up Beeper in your NAS, and then you can access it through the web interface, so that then you can have chats there with anyone and you don't need to use your phone for that. So we see here, basically it says, the chats are secure, you can connect multiple devices, and it's a free app, so there's nothing to complain here. I saw that they have a repository on GitHub that is sackatrocity/docker-beeper, and this one is about the Docker image for the application. So if you scroll down here, you'll see they have the beta app, which is what I'm going to be trying, but you can use the legacy way if you also want it, but I'm not going to be using that. And here's our sample Docker Compose file. I used this and I just did a few minor modifications to it and I got it working, so that's what we're going to be doing. Basically it says that the application listens on port 3000 or 3001. That's why it exposes both. I'm going to be focusing on 3000, and basically it tells you a lot of other details if you want. This is running on Chasm VNC, which is a virtualization layer similar to what Calibre does. So the image is going to be a little heavy, it's going to be quite big, but I think it's worth it for what this application provides. So we have the Docker Compose. Let's go into the NAS and figure out how we're going to set this up. Alright, so the folder structure that we need, again, in the containers in Docker, we're going to create a folder named Beeper, and in that one we're going to create a folder named config. Currently has nothing. And then in our projects we're going to create a folder for Beeper that has currently nothing. So that's all that we need for the folder structure. Now let's go to the container manager and let's create a project here that is going to be named Beeper, and we're going to look for the path here in the Docker projects that we just created. That's where we're going to be dropping our Docker Compose file. I already have my Docker Compose file here, so let's go on next, don't start it, done, and then we can see it in a bigger screen here by going to the YAML. Basically it's the same one that they have, just with a few changes so that it works on my NAS. So we're going to be using the latest image of the Docker Beeper container. We're going to name it Beeper. I'm going to pass the admin account that I created for the first time in my NAS, so that's the codes that represent those, so 1026 and 100, so that it has permissions to read and write to the config folder here. And the time zone for my case is America, New York. You change this for your specific time zone. And then in here I'm mapping that config folder that we created here, this one, to the container in the /config directory in the container. So just to clarify, this is on the NAS, this is on the container, and again for the ports is the same thing. And let me just make some notes here so that when you see the reference guide you know what it is. There we go, the time zone. So now the next thing we need to do is expose the ports. So I'm going to expose the 3000 on 3000 and 3001 on 3001. Remember, the left side is on the NAS and the right side is the container. So the container is listed on 3000 and I'm going to access it on the NAS IP on the 3002. So then we're going to restart the container unless we come here and manually stop it. And that's all that we need to do here. So we can save if we made any changes, and then we can say build and start the project, which will pull the image and create that container for us. In my case, I've already pull that image, so it's going to be really fast. So you see it created it and that's it. But that image is very hefty. It's about 4 gigabytes of space. So that's why I said, because of the VNC, it's going to be a pretty big image, but it works very nicely. Let's go into the container quickly and the logs, and it should be working on things. And let's see something here. If it created the stuff in the config, there we go. It created all the things that we needed in the config. So now we should be able to go to the IP of the NAS on port 3000, and then when we refresh this, here we go. We get the user interface of the beeper application. As you can see from this, it's a VNC hosted application, so it's like a virtualization layer, and in there we're running the app. And as you can see here, it says we need to log into this application. So the first thing it does is it asks you for an email. So I'm going to put my email here, and then it's going to send a code to that email. So then you need to get that code so that you can log into the application. And here it is. I got my codes. Let's put that code. That code changes every time you're logging into the application because they send you a new one. It's like kind of like a two-factor authentication. And then you get to this point where it says, you need to verify. So in my case, I already created an account. So it says I can verify by putting my recovery code in the application, or if I lost the recovery code, I'm gonna click here, right? So in my case, I do have that recovery code, so let me put that in here, and then I'm gonna click that button. You're not gonna see that part because obviously I don't want you to have my code, but that's what's gonna be next. So you click on recovery code and then you put the code here, and then you press next. Alright, at this point it is verifying and syncing my data, and as you can see, I had already synced my WhatsApp account into my beeper, so that's why it immediately loaded WhatsApp. So the first time that you get into the application, since you don't have anything connected, it's gonna give you a list of all the different applications that you can connect to, instead of giving you this view that I have here, because I already have WhatsApp configured and it already configured the beeper network for me. So when you're looking for the networks, it's going to be right here in the center, and you'll see the icon for the different networks that you can connect to. In my case, I already have WhatsApp connected, so it's not showing up here, but you can pick the one that you want to connect to. For example, Telegram here, or Signal, or X, or Facebook Messenger, whatever. And then when you click there, it's going to guide you through the process of connecting that specific application, so that you can use it in here in beeper. So for example, if you say that you want to connect X, you click here, and then it's going to send you to the login to X, and then once you do the login, then it's going to figure out how to use it within the application. So just wanted to highlight that. And once you connect an application, like for example Telegram or WhatsApp, you have to leave your phone with the application open for a little bit for it to synchronize, and then once it synchronizes, then everything's going to work fine from here. So it's a very straightforward application that you can use, and you can connect a bunch of different services and have it all in one single place. So this is going to be a short video. I hope you like it, and I think you'll find it useful. So give it a try. I think it's a good application to have. If you liked the video, hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you have not done so. That's very important. Hit the bell also so that you get notified whenever we upload a video. And leave me comments in the comment section below, because a lot of the videos that I've been posting are based on requests that I get from you. I also prioritize the requests from donors whenever possible. So also know that. And talking about donors, you should have noticed that there was no ad on my video. That is on purpose because I'm not monetizing the channel. But that means that all the effort that I put into making these type of videos gives me no return, no money. So if you want to support me so I can continue focusing on the channel, feel free to donate using the link in the description below, or there's also a Bitcoin wallet address that you can use if you prefer to donate that way. So I'll leave it here. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.